And he, I think in some respects, maybe his ego got the best of him, and he certainly did nothing to diminish his notoriety or the sort of rise of his popularity and his perceived importance within the university. But it didn't have a lot of impact on me on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so now turning to the more present time here. As you know, as I'm sure you know, Paterno was honored by Penn State and Penn State fans in their game Saturday against Temple. Do you support that position in that decision?
Yeah, my initial reaction was it felt a little early to me. And I realized the reason they did it was the 50th anniversary of his first game as head coach at Penn State, which is obviously significant to many people. But from my perspective, given everything that still swirls around, given that there's still some very strong emotions on various sides of the whole scandal that took place 5 years ago, there may be a time and place to honor him, but the whole thing felt a little early to me at this point.
Do you can you describe the feeling inside Penn State and on the other hand with Penn State alumni and graduates about the whole Joe Paterno legacy, whole Joe Paterno situation as a whole?
Yeah. I think people are in two camps. I think there are those who are just Paterno loyalists, for lack of a better phrase, or just view what he did for the university as incredible, or in some respects, and I agree with a little bit of this, in some respects think the media has unduly focused on him when you sort of forget the fact that he's not the one that committed the crimes. So I think there are those people who are just, determined to make sure that his legacy, ultimately returns to what it was, and that he's honored, and that he, the media doesn't win, so to speak, in terms of tainting him with this scandal where he's not the one who committed the crime. And then I think there's an entire other set of, those connected to the university, alumni or what have you, who think that there's, arguably too much time spent talking about what this may or may not mean to Joe Paterno, who had a wonderful 85-year life. And, it's time for the university to move forward, and there might be a time and place in the future where the university acknowledges all his contributions, but the university is still healing. It's doing remarkably well in terms of attracting students and graduating people who are valued by companies across the country. And, let's stop spending so much time worrying about what this means for Joe Paterno's legacy or how we honor Joe Paterno. And let's just keep our focus on the university healing and moving forward, which I think it's doing quite well.
All right, so thanks so much, Stu, for that kind of inside look on the perspective of Penn State. Really valuable to the conversation. All right, thanks so much for joining us as a whole.
Anytime, Spencer.
All right.
All right, man.
See you. All right, so that was Stu Rothstein, who is a big Penn State guy, Penn State through and through. I know, of course, his children, he mentioned a little bit earlier, he takes them to Penn State games all the time. Such a valuable, insightful take on what's going on with Penn State. And very also level-headed, which is something you don't get too much in a conversation about this issue. So very, very valuable to have him on there. All right, so that is Stu, and we very, very much are happy to have him on. And, all right, so I just want to end on, kind of a good note here. And, we already got to Lady Gaga and just kind of looking at like what to get into here today. And I mean, I'm just really disappointed that we have we should totally have something other than Lady Gaga in the Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, we have been let down by the NFL in terms of Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, it's supposed to be like, just don't think people care. They really don't. Let's see. Cam Newton had a really, really bad outfit today. I just wanted to provide you with that. And just in case you see internet memes, we just want to be sure that, like, well, if you see any kind of internet meme about Cam Newton's outfit, that's what you know. He wore it during a presser at the end of his route, and now essentially looks like he's part of the barbershop quartet. I mean, he's gonna go off sing the blues in like some like barbershop in Des Moines, Iowa. Just don't even get that. And all right, so you always hate to have this. Just saw today, umpire exiting with a concussion. That obviously sucks. All right, so I mean, there's also tons of stuff going on today. Here's how we end it. Here is how we ended today. I just figured this out. Here's what we're gonna do. It's time for one big thought. Spencer wraps up the NFL weekend with one big thought on your team and their NFL game. All right, so one big thought is presented by the great institution, the great thing that is Coors Light. On the field, off the field, we climb together. Climb on with Coors Light and check it out today. Right, so the Packers are playing the Vikings right now. And here's my thought. Aaron Rodgers better. Jets vs. Bills. Rex Ryan's a joke. Panthers vs. 49ers. Panthers had to win that. Steelers and the Bengals. Well, didn't see that one coming. Chiefs vs. the Texans. Press the snooze button. Go back to sleep. You didn't miss anything. Titans play the Lions. Big win for Marcus. Ravens play the Browns. Must win for the Ravens and their team morale. Giants play the Saints. Big Blue, 2-0, not too bad. Kind of reversal last season. Cowboys play the Redskins. Must win. Dolphins play the Pats. No more Jimmy G. Don't sweat it for the Pats. They're still going to be great until Brady gets back. Cardinals rout the Buccaneers 40-7. What I tell you, they're special. Rams over the Seahawks 9-3. That was a good game. 35-28. Falcons play the Raiders. This was a pretty big win, but not the end of the world for the Raiders. They're a legitimate team now, but they got to start winning those games. I'm sorry. 34-20. Crushing loss for the Colts. No, really, crushing loss for Andrew Luck, because that's what he was so much of the time, including that one fumbled touchdown that came back to win the game. Jaguars, Chargers, routed them 38-14. Hey, Chargers, not too bad. Did not see that coming out of you. Eagles play the Bears. Huh? Not going to watch that. Wake me when it's over, please. All right, so we've reached the finish line of today's show. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And we will see you next weekend for Ep Numero 3. It's the finish line. You've reached it.